Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Travel with the Stars. We are live again, and we're talking about one of my favorite topics, food. We've done a couple of episodes about food, but, that's okay.
Of course.
Because we all like food. If you don't like food, this is probably not a good show for you. So, because what we are talking today is fine dining in Walt Disney World. And you might be thinking, it's a theme park. Aren't there just like chicken nuggets and like burgers and fries and things like that? Is that the case? Is that the case, Jessica?
Absolutely not. There's so much more than corn dog nuggets and fries, though those are good options too. But
yeah, right. No shade on the corn dog.
Yeah.
No. We love the corn dog nuggies. Don't be hating on Casey's.
We're not hating on Casey's.
Corn dogs are one of my love languages. So yeah.
We ever do a show just on corn dogs, David Dollar.
You know what? I would be Jessica and I think could carry that show. I think we could talk all the way through it. So.
But we're also fancy too, David. We can eat fancy food. We don't have to just eat corn dog nuggets.
That's true. That is true.
Well, I know Eric has also experienced a lot of the fine dining. Yes.
Yes. There's a reason they call it Walt Disney World, because you can dine all over the world and find almost any cuisine that you want.
Yeah,
True.
Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about what are some of our favorite cuisine options, because y'all might be shocked, but like off the top of my head right now, I could probably rattle up at least 12 restaurants that would be higher and finer dining, like at least. And I know that there's more than that. If I really started kind of like, oh, there's more than that. All right. So Eric, you take the lead here. Give us like maybe your current favorite. It might change daily.
Well, yeah. I guess it does change depending on the season, but I'm a Texas guy, so I like steak, no surprise there. So probably my top two, obviously Le Cellier in Canada at Epcot, and then the Yachtman Steakhouse, another great steakhouse. Shula's is great. So anywhere that has a great steak is probably going to be my top. Le Cellier, I would say it'd have to be my top. I probably go there about every other time that we go to Epcot. Just phenomenal. So yeah, that's my number one, I think.
Okay, like can we talk about the cheese soup for a second?
Oh
yes. We can do a show on the cheese soup.
That soup is just everything. And you get that pretzel bread and you're like,
yes. Yes, for sure.
There's a reason that I flock to Canada every time there's a festival, whether it's Food and Wine or Flower and Garden, and everybody's like, let's go to Mexico. We got to go to Mexico. I'm like, no. We're going to Canada first. Y'all can drink as much as you want. I want either the beef tips if it's spring, or I want the steak.
The
filet. Yes. Give me the soup. Give me the scallops. Give me whatever. I go to Canada every time first, and I'll just meet you drunk people over there at Mexico later. So.
Canada does have really good drinks though too, so you got a little bit of best of all options.
True, and maple popcorn.
Yes,
but I know this isn't your favorite kiosk. This is favorite fine dining.
This is favorite fine dining.
Yeah.
But we can still shout out the maple popcorn. That's okay. Those are
three.
And
I could be wrong. I just don't see Eric standing over a garbage can dipping corn dog nuggets into ketchup.
Oh, I've done it. And now that I know
the way you say that, you're like, oh, I've done it before. If I had, do what I got to do.
With y'all's little spread that you put over the trash can, I've learned that hack from you guys.
Right?
So
that's true. Yeah, tablecloth. Yep.
Have you even eaten in Epcot if you haven't eaten on a trash can?
Exactly.
So okay, 3. And by the way, when we're talking fine dining or deluxe dining in Disney, these are ones that with the meal plan would typically take 2 credits or don't take the dining plan at all in one case. That I can 2 cases? I think in 2 cases that I can think of.
2 credits. Yes.
2 credits.
2 credits.
So yes, these have all been 2 creditors so far. So all right, Jess.
Okay.
What?
So my current favorite is California Grill. It's the best. First of all, I'm partial to the fine dining restaurants in the resorts because I am a local, so those are my date night spots. Like, that's where we have date night, and so then we go to a resort and we eat at a restaurant, and it's just fabulous. But my favorite date that we went on this year was definitely a California Grill, and I'm with Eric. I'm a steak and potatoes girl all the way. So basically just order a steak wherever and I compare and contrast. California Grill was just immaculate. Everything was so delicious and so wonderful. And the service there is great. And the ambiance.
Oh,
You can watch the fireworks.
The view. Oh,
Yep.
gosh.
From the restaurant. They have 2 viewing balconies, and it's amazing.
Mm.
There's nothing else like it. It's just such an incredible experience, and they pipe in the music,
oh yes.
and it's amazing.
We have done a couple of holidays there. We've done a couple of New Year's Eves there, and
Yep.
they will do sometimes a prefix menu. I think they're back for the 50th. They had a prefix menu. I think they're back to their
Yes.
normal one, right, Jessica?
Yeah. I think-
But New Year's Eve, actually, we're doing it again.
Oh.
Actually, on the 30th, because New Year's Eve will be in Epcot. So we're doing it on the 30th, and I'm looking forward to because they have just a phenomenal New Year's spread. Like,
Yeah.
it's so good. All right. That's really solid. David, do you have a favorite fancy
So-
schmancy?
So 2 favorites basically. One is Le Cellier. Le Cellier is like legendary for me. If I had a personal Hall of Fame of eating establishments, that would be like first ballot Hall of Fame. My problem is I haven't been there in 10 years. However, I was talking to my beautiful wife Stephanie about their trip because we went with the group a couple weeks ago, and then Stephanie and my child and my mother-in-law went last week. And I had mentioned Le Cellier for our trip in spring. I'm like, well, let's go there. We haven't been in a while. And she was like, oh, I went last week. She was like, yeah, we got a reservation. It was great. I was like, I'm sure it was delicious. Thank you. We're trial separation right now. What the heck? So I cannot wait to get back to Le Cellier. I just haven't had a chance to go because fine dining, and I'll speak for the people who don't go all in on all the food because I love the food, but also I'm like, I could buy a shirt for the price of a steak. So we got to make choices here. So I don't do a ton of fine dining, but it is one of those, when I go, I'm making sure I'm very picky and choosy of what I'm going to spend money on. Le Cellier is one of those I would spend my money on. I don't know if it counts as fine dining. Steakhouse 71 over in Contemporary Resort is one of my favorite.
Yeah, I think
For
that's
sure,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom of Contemporary where the Wave used to be. And I think it is one credit, but it's a steakhouse, things like that. And I've had breakfast, lunch, and dinner there, not the same day. But I've had all 3 meals there, and they're all 3 absolutely delicious. The steak there is just fantastic. So it's one of those, if you can't get into the California Grill, which is probably better food, just even if just for the price, Steakhouse 71 is a great alternative. We did Thanksgiving dinner there Thanksgiving lunch there 2 years ago. It was wonderful. And speaking from somebody who has a family with special needs and dietary issues, Le Cellier and Steakhouse 71 both are great restaurants for dietary needs. And my kid loves steak as well because he's my boy, and so they're happy to make him a 5 or 6 or 7 ounce fillet, with no seasoning on it, however he needs to be made, separately, no cross contamination. They'll make him potatoes just for him and things like that that he absolutely loves. And of course, he's usually doesn't need a ton, so he's got 3 or 4 ounces left. And I'm like, well, let me just finish that for you there, son. I don't waste that. There are poor people at Gatorland that would love to have this steak right here at Disney World. Let me have it. Don't want to waste it. So yeah.
The Gators might love to have it too. I'm just
possibly
throw that out there. All right, so 2. I'm a little bit surprised no one's mentioned these yet. So I have like 2 realms of fine dining that I love, and then I have like my pinnacle, right? Like, because Brady and I are bougie. Let's just
yes, we know this.
Victoria and Albert's. Right?
Yep.
That's my like top. Like, we have done Victoria and Albert's. That is in the top like 3 meals of my.
Wait, is that why you're looking for February to figure out what the group wants to do so you can take all us to Victoria and Albert's? Jen, thank you.
Yeah, I like that, Dave.
Well, Eric, we will need to pay like a $30 per person fee to help out. So that's fine. That's fine. It's a little steep, but that's fine.
I don't think that's what I'm doing.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Chef's table. Chef's table.
Chef's table.
Thanks.
I tell you what, that Victoria and Albert's menu is to die for. It's like 8-9 courses. It is like, Jessica, have you done it?
So it's we're crossing our fingers, and I might need y'all's help with it. We are planning it next year for our 10th wedding anniversary.
Oh,
yes.
That's like we said on our first anniversary. We weren't living here when we'd only been married a year, so we came to Disney World. And we were like, you know what? If we make it to 10 years, and we celebrate 9 years tomorrow.
Yes.
So if we make it to 10, we're like, we're having Victoria and Albert's for our anniversary dinner. So next December, hopefully, will be when I finally eat there. So that's
well, just I will not spoil it, but I will tell you the experience was bar none the most fantastic experience. The service, the food, the presentation of the dishes, like it was just immaculate. And so if you're looking at these price points, right, and you're like, I'm sorry, how much per person?
Don't look at the
Y'all,
price point. If you got to
just
look,
don't.
you don't need to go.
It is an experience when you are going. It is an experience. You're going to be there like 3 hours, right? This is not, just in and out really quickly and back to the parks. This is, we are going to take our time. We are going to savor this. Maybe you decide to do a wine pairing with it. The post dinner drinks, this coffee maker that they have is mind blowing that they bring to the table. Like it's this whole contraption. You're like, I don't even know what's happening, but it was delicious coffee. I can't even tell you. And they just, yeah. And they literally have all from the amuse-bouche to like, you have your pasta course and you have your fish course and you have your main course. And I missed the salad course, which is also in there. And then you have like,
Can't wait. Ugh.
like
Well, happy
so good.
anniversary, Jessica. First of
thank
all,
Yeah, 10 years. That's
also
amazing.
like Jessica, I will need also help going to Victoria and Albert. So I'm setting up a GoFundMe. It's our 20th anniversary in February. So if you want to donate,
So what was your other one, Jen? What was your other one? The next level.
So my next level, that's like that is the like, you can't do that one all the time. Okay.
Right.
That one's expensive, right?
No.
Now, the next one down though, I have two that contend for like my favorite on any given day. One is flying fish on the boardwalk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They actually claim to have a better steak than Yachtsman.
Wow.
And everybody I know, so our friends, Kyla, our friend who's been on this multiple times, her husband Frank is very picky about his steaks, according to him. And he loved his steak there. He was like, this is fantastic. David, you were at that one whenever
Yes.
we ate there after the
Yep.
race last
Yep.
year.
When I was falling asleep on my dinner.
When you were falling, you were so tired. And then my second one is Topolino's for dinner.
Oh.
Yes. Mhm.
Everybody thinks about it for breakfast. That dinner they are actually currently, according to the maitre d', currently the most highly ranked guest satisfaction wise.
That is not surprising because I've been there for dinner once and it was like a 3-hour experience just because it was the end of the night. You and Brady and your friends were over there and we were over here and whatever. But then my in-laws went and they said it only took a little over an hour, but they said it was exceptional. They said it was one of the best meals they've had on property. And I think it's right now, I think dinner's kind of hidden gem because a lot of people don't talk about it. I think it will become like La Celia at some point where people are like, oh yeah, everybody's got to go there.
I mean, it's terrible. Don't go. You shouldn't,
Yes.
you shouldn't go. You shouldn't stay. You should go to breakfast.
Yes, go to Victoria and Albert's instead. That's fine. Do
Yeah. Because, oh my gosh, they have this fish dish. It's just stunning. It's stunning. I can't think what it is off the top of my head, but it's got like capers and all these like vegetables like in it and potatoes, and the potatoes are just they're stunning, like totally. Anyway, so those are like my top two. Now we can move down to the next tier though. Like we can move down like what other ones do we enjoy going to, because we have not nearly mentioned all of the fine dining restaurants here.
Well, I like
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Dave. I like Narcoossee's. I always have trouble pronouncing it, but I love Narcoosse's at Grand Flow. Obviously, that's a really good one, especially for the view. I know we were talking about the Contemporary and the view from California, but that's a great view right off the water of the castle and the fireworks and the food. Like you were saying with fish dishes, great fish there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one of my kind of unknown. I don't think a lot of people know about it because it's way kind of off the path at the Grand Flow over there, towards the Magic Kingdom side. So that's one of my unsung ones I like.
That and the refurbishment is beautiful because they refurbished. Yeah, Jessica, have you been since?
I haven't been since, but I know it was down a long time.
Oh yeah,
It was an refurb, but now it's back up. We went to Citrico's.
That's a good one.
That was real. So that's in the main building, but I did a late reservation on purpose so that we could go watch the fireworks from Narcoossee's, and it's such a good view. And so I like peeked in a little bit. It looks beautiful, but I haven't eaten in it since before the refurb.
Yeah, we did that one 2 trips ago maybe, and I'm like, well, I have to eat here. I've got to see what the refurbishment looks like.
Of course, got to be able to tell your clients.
I mean, right?
January of 2020, and it was really good.
Oh,
so I imagine it's just as good now.
And the servers are amazing. Yeah.
So with me, like here's how I separate fine dining from just regular dining. Like
Yeah.
Rose and Crown is a great restaurant over in England and the
Oh, yeah.
UK. I can probably get out of there for $30, $35. Fish and chips, get some water, maybe skip dessert. Give a good tip, whatever. $35. To me, fine dining is when there's no way I'm getting out for under 50 or $60 per person, if not more. It doesn't
Right.
have to be 1 or 2 credits, but like
Right.
one that I'm thinking of is Space 220. It's even your lunch, you're probably going to pay 60, 65 per person
you are.
for your prefix menu. And it's great food, and the atmosphere is fantastic. That
Oh, yeah,
elevator,
that's great.
quote unquote elevator, because you're going into space. It's really cool. I mean, if you study really hard, you kind of feel like you're looking at a ride at Universal. It's like, oh, look at that 3D. I should have some glasses. But at the same time, it gives this effect of like you're flying into space in an elevator. Then you go into
it's
the
cool.
restaurant, and there's a huge window there, quote unquote window, where you see random space things floating through. The food is good. The Pop Rocks drink is good. And it's just a really unique atmosphere that I recommend everybody should do at least once. There's lunch and dinner. And I think the difference is that dinner gives you a drink with your meal, and it's just more expensive.
And dessert.
Is it dessert
Dinner,
too?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Dinner has dessert also.
Okay. It's just really great. I love Space 220. I've been there a couple of times for lunch and for dinner, and I just enjoy both. And it is a prefix menu, much like Be Our Guest restaurant. You're looking at probably 60, 70, 80 per person, depending on when you go, and it's one price. So eat up as much as you want. Eat up if you can. But yeah, it's those are two places, especially with Space 220, that I really enjoy.
Yeah, that's a great one. Now, I know that we were kind of talking pre-show. I've done almost all of the restaurants that are the ones that we're talking about, the fine dining. Almost all. There are two I'm missing. I've heard amazing feedback about both. One is Toledo.
Yes, I've heard that. Mm-hmm.
Wait, you did Toledo?
Yes, that's what
Tell
I'm
me all about it.
Oh, it's so good. So we went around 2 years ago now. And we were supposed to go this Saturday, but I ended up switching our reservation because it's supposed to storm here on Saturday. And when it's storm, I don't like getting out of the house because I don't have to.
Yeah.
But it is so good. They have, I think at that point I said that was the best steak I'd ever had on property. It was amazing. And it was gorgeous in there. Like, first of all, I mean, just like forget the food for a second. It is a beautiful restaurant. That ceiling is stunning. It's so, and it's so beautiful. But the appetizers, I think we got like the fried chorizo, which was amazing. I feel like my husband, he likes seafood. So I usually get steak and he usually gets seafood. So he got something seafoody and he loved it. And I don't remember what we got for dessert, but I remember loving it. It was a while ago, but it was so, so good. But I asked him if we could go back this weekend for our anniversary because that's how we loved it. And it's been a while. I think it was like 21.
Okay.
But yes, we haven't been back since. But I know Emily went recently with Jeremy. They went and she loved it too. So it comes highly recommended by the stars. Sure.
I love it. My sister-in-law also loved it. So Eric, you might need to try that. You're a steak guy. So
I guess I don't. Where's Toledo's? Like, what is that? A resort restaurant?
Yeah,
It's over Coronado. It's
Coronado.
Grandestino.
Okay. I've never stayed at Coronado.
Grandestino Tower.
That's why I didn't know. Okay, that makes sense.
Now, is it Toledo or Toledo? Do they call it Toledo to keep it separate from the city itself, or because I've always said Toledo, but
there is
Toledo. Oh, well, I've been pronouncing it wrong.
Toledo is in Ohio. Toledo. Well, and I think.
And that's what I wondered.
I'm not from Ohio.
If somebody's like, hey, this restaurant's called Toledo, but we're going to say Toledo. So that way it doesn't sound like the city in Ohio.
A little more upscale. Yeah.
Exactly. A little more upscale.
I think Toledo is a city in Spain. I'm not.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, it could be. I have no clue.
Yeah, I should have looked that up.
I don't recognize places outside of the country because I'm a patriot. So, yeah.
It's across from the Dahlia Bar, which also has great views of the fireworks. And we weren't there during the fireworks, but apparently you can see the fireworks from Epcot, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
So because it's the whole inside, it's windows. It's just like floor to ceiling window. So you get a view of the fireworks there too.
Oh, that's cool.
And they have like a tapas bar, like you can watch them. It's an open kitchen, so you can watch make your tapas and everything from your seat.
Oh.
It was a really great experience.
It is Toledo in Spain, and it is pronounced Toledo.
Oh, there you go.
You're correct.
Oh, okay.
So,
Educational podcast today.
Right. Reasons I know certain things is because I am from near Ohio. I am not that far from Toledo because it's Ohio. Much like in Pittsburgh. Sorry, Pittsburghers, you're about to get mad at me. We have North Versailles. However, that's spelled like Versailles. It should be Versailles, but we're Pittsburgh, so we say Versailles. So
I want to get everybody's opinion on a controversial restaurant. What do y'all think about Be Our Guest at Magic Kingdom? You know, they changed the way they do it from years ago to now. What's y'all's opinion on Be Our Guest?
I like Be Our Guest. I don't love Be Our Guest. Be Our Guest, I chalk up there with Brown Derby and Boathouse. Those are restaurants they're okay for me. I enjoy them. I would never go if you said, "Hey, pick a fine dining restaurant." Those are not my choices. But if the three of you were like, "Hey, we're going to eat over at Be Our Guest. You should come with us," I would probably go with you. I'd say, "Okay, that's fine. I'd go." It's a good meal. It's a little pricey for me. The food is pretty good. Not great. There are other restaurants I would rather go to. But then again, if you're like, hey, I'll buy. You want to do Be Our Guest or Columbia Harbor House? Let's do Be Our Guest. That's fine. Or, that's fine. I mean.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I like breakfast there. But yeah.
I wish they bring breakfast
beautiful
back.
Inside. Yeah, beautiful inside, but
yeah.
It's part of the experience.
The atmosphere. Atmosphere, I give an A+.
You're paying for the atmosphere, I think.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like the menu is better before the prefix.
That's
much better before the prefix. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree.
I missed the lunch because the roast beef sandwich there was fantastic. The breakfast was delicious. And for anybody listening who doesn't remember, the time existed before 2020, they had breakfast and they had it was a lunch both were counter services.
Yeah.
And then of course they stopped and everything, did prefix dinner and everything. And it was really good. It was one of the only counter services you had to get reservations for because people were lining up all the way through Fantasyland to get in. But then they were like, wait a minute, why don't we make more money by making it a fine dining experience at both places
and a prefix? And I was like, they took away some of the meals that I really, really loved.
Right. But if they want to make some money, do Be Our Guest as a breakfast with characters.
Yes.
Let's put Gaston in there, put LeFou in there.
We will never get a reservation.
And charge $100, and people will be like, "I want it. I'll pay it. I'll pay it." I mean, I would pay at least once.
I'm surprised they have not done that yet.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, agreed.
And then for Christmas, Belle could do her enchanted Christmas costume. Oh my gosh! Do you realize how much money they could make? They could make so much money.
Take my money. Just take my money.
Like, Jen, call Bob.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Josh.
Exactly.
Get on this.
Well, the other one that I have not done, and I'm curious if any of you have, Monsieur Paul in. It's on my list.
No.
It's on my list. All right, Jessica, when I come down, maybe we'll have to make it happen.
Yes, let's do it.
We'll get Emily and Jeremy to come too. I like every time I do it, I'm like, well.
Yeah.
There's too many great choices at Epcot. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's usually lower on my bucket list or wish list. So.
Well, now there's all those new sushi restaurants in Japan and Epcot.
Yes.
I haven't tried those yet.
Yeah.
And speaking of sushi, Morimoto is delicious over at at Disney Springs, which coincidentally, not the first time, but the time that I met Jen to say, "Hey, Jen, I might be looking to make some changes, and I wanted to kind of talk about, where I might go with my travel agent experience." Was at Morimoto.
It was at Morimoto.
Yeah, Morimoto. We met there at Disney Springs, and then we
also did the Void, the Wreck-It Ralph one, right?
The Wreck-It Ralph one. Yep. It was two members of the agency who aren't here anymore, but it was those two and Jen, so. Random trivia that nobody cares about.
Yeah, it was interesting though.
It was fun. It was good food. It's good food.
What about Morimoto, Jess?
It's my husband's favorite. He would eat there for every occasion if I would let him.
There you go. Go Blake.
Yeah. Morimoto.
Well, any last minute shout outs before we wrap up the episode today, guys?
I don't know if it's fine dining, but Homecoming.
Yes.
Hey,
it's kind of mid fine dining. I mean, that's almost an every time I go is Homecoming. Yeah. So So good. But it's about a $40 a dish, $30 to $40, I guess, a dish.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's not fine dining, but it's close, I guess.
Another
But
one to
it's
mention. This is an experience that you want, like Victoria and Albert's, you want to carve out time for just to say that you've done it, and that would be Haleo over at Disney Springs as well.
Oh,
And you can get multiple courses. Hey, I wanted like the 5-course meal, the 8-course meal, and they will bring you food. And they've got the massive chunks of meat on the rod. They just roll by on a cart and shove off on your plate there. I actually joined the aforementioned Kyla and her husband Frank about midway through their meal. Like I just went in to say hello to them. I sat down and Frank offered me food, and I was like, okay. And I ate the rest of it. And like they couldn't eat. They were like 3 courses or 4 courses into a 6-course meal, and they were full. And I'm just like over here, like I'll eat the last 3 courses. But it's a little pricey, but it is really a good experience. It's a lot of good food. And I recommend it's one of those, if you've been a lot and you're like, I'm looking for something different, maybe it's just you and your spouse, you're skipping together, or just some friends. Check out Haleo and definitely enjoy that evening. You'll be there for a couple hours, but it's really good food. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for talking about my favorite subject. Also, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I gotta go eat lunch now. Yeah.
Yes.
Somehow it's not going to taste as good as any of these.
I'm eating a Subway sandwich going, this is not La Cellier. Yeah, man. It's not even a corn dog nugget.
Oh,
It's funny because it's true. I don't even know if I have leftovers at home. I don't know what I'm eating. Anyway, we'll figure it out. All right, friends, let's find out, where can we find all of you online, in the travels? I know we have a lot of stuff coming up. So I'm going to go in the order that I have them on my screen, honestly. So David, go ahead, kick us off here.
Oh, me first. Well, first of all, you can find me and Jen, who is on the podcast here, the show here, on the Main Street Electrical Podcast. We do a podcast every Thursday, and we're actually going to talk about today. We're going to talk about favorite resorts at Christmas, which should be a fun little topic. Also, you can find me on Instagram at The Magic on a Dollar, and find me on Facebook at Magic on a Dollar and Disney on a Dollar. Really, I'm easy to find. Like I could not commit a crime because people would know where I am at all times. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I could not disappear if I tried.
All right. You can also email him, David@uponaStarTravel.com.
Yeah, that too.
All right. And Jessica, I got you down here next.
all right. You can follow me on Instagram at magicalmousemoments21, and you can email me at jessicaL@uponaStarTravel.com.
All right, Eric, how about you?
You can find me on Facebook at Eric Pruitt or Upon a Star Travel Eric, or you can email me at ericp@uponastartravel.com.
Fantastic. Find me at Upon a Star Jen, basically everywhere. And if needed, of course, you can always email me. And if you're just looking for the agency in general, check us out, uponastartravel.com, at Upon a Star Travel, info at Upon a Star Travel. We'd love to help you out. We'd love to help you plan your next fine dining experience in Walt Disney World because we love it so much. And we didn't even touch on Disneyland. There are some great ones out there too. Well,
But Jen, I have a question.
Yeah.
What if I want fine dining at, say, Universal or an all-inclusive somewhere? Where would I contact? Who would I talk to?
What a great question, David. You could also contact any of us or check us out Upon a Star Travel because we can help you with all of those destinations.
That's a great idea. Let's do
great
that.
idea. We could do all of the things, and we have a lot of foodies on this team. So
Yes.
you're all in good company. So, all right, friends, for all 4 of us, for the rest of the team at Upon a Star Travel, thanks so much for joining us. Remember, there is a whole new world of travel to explore and to find and to eat in. So let us help you do that. And in the meantime, we will see you real soon. Bye, everybody.